How's it going, you guys, and welcome to your morning cup. We start today off with updates on the Myanmar coup, as last night was a weird night for Myanmar, as Win Yething, a senior member of Aung San Suu Kyi's party, was taken into custody pre-dawn. The police as well as the military conducted what seems to be another wave of political arrests in the middle of the night, which just raised even more suspicions. Outrage over the Myanmar coup has been global, with people banging pots and pans on the streets of Myanmar, trying to get the word out about how disingenuous the coup actually is in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the military has cited numerous reasons for its coup in place, but none of them have actually held any solid ground. What we do understand for a reality is the fact that the United States Security Council, the UNSC, has officially put out a statement dictating the fact that Aung San Suu Kyi, as well as senior political members of Myanmar, need to be released immediately, with repercussions to follow if the demands are not met. We move on to the fact that Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard conducted what seemed to be a surgical strike in Balochistan's region of Pakistan. Well, Pakistan is the country that shares a border with Iran, and upon further investigation and deep diving into this, it turns out that these two individuals were a part of a group of 12 who were abducted by Jaish-ul-Adl in 2018. 2.5 years later, Iran finally conducts a surgical strike with boots on the ground and rescues these two Revolutionary Guard soldiers. What we understand for a fact is that Pakistan was completely unaware of the fact that there was a surgical strike of any way, shape, or form being conducted. But being one of the nations that shares a border with Iran, this Balochistan region is under a lot of conflict recently. It turns out that extremists have claimed this land, and Pakistan's army has little to no control in the region. We move on to the fact that the WHO team has put out a statement dictating the fact that it is now pursuing bat caves as the possible origins for the coronavirus pandemic. After moving on from the virology labs in Wuhan, turns out that the WHO team is now investigating bat caves nearing the area. Now, the WHO team has not put out any statements regarding what it's found yet and what its initial onset of its findings are, but it wants to leave no stone unturned. Now, what we understand from this WHO team's findings from the past few weeks is the fact that WHO's team first and foremost was facing immense backlash from Chinese government to even get into the country, leave alone do the required research to figure out the actual basics of where the virus originated from. It turns out that after pressure that mounted from international organizations, the WHO team was finally allowed to enter China and look for the origins of the coronavirus pandemic. They reached Wuhan, they did their due diligence in Wuhan, they even went to the wet markets of Wuhan, then they moved on to the virology labs in Wuhan, where numerous news organizations as well as right-wing media claimed that this is the place where the virus originated from. This is the place where the virus was leaked from. But the WHO team put out no statement. The WHO team did, however, receive data and went through data that no one had ever seen before in terms of confidential information. What this confidential information entails in the final outlet that the WHO team is going to be putting out when its investigation concludes is still anyone's guess. But rest assured that the WHO team is not taking any shortcuts. It then moved on to the bat caves, as we just discussed, and these bat caves seem to be the origins in some way, shape, or form. Well, we moved on from bats to pangolins in our understanding of where the virus originated from, but it's still too early to tell what the actual onset of this pandemic is. We wait for the WHO team to put out its statement, and we will keep you updated about the same. We move on to the final story of the day, and the final story of the day is about North Korea. Now, North Korea is one of the only two nations in the world that has not reported a single case of the coronavirus to the WHO. Now, Turkmenistan, the country of Gurbanguly Magomedov, is the only other nation that has not reported a single case. However, North Korea now stands to be the only nation which has not reported a single case yet gets to receive 2 million doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Now, this comes out of India's Serum Institute of Technology, that is the world's largest manufacturer of vaccines. The WHO is responsible for distributing said vaccines, and the WHO has sanctioned 2 million doses for North Korea. However, North Korea has still pressure towards the fact that it does not have a single case. But the vaccines, nevertheless, are very essential for everyone on a global scale to make sure that this virus is eradicated. When it comes to Turkmenistan is still anyone's guess if they're even going to have an outreach program to acquire said vaccines or if they're doing their own thing. Also, in quickie news, we understand the fact that Pakistan has openly dictated the fact that the Chinese vaccine that they had imported and began outrolling to the people is not effective on people aged 60 years and above. Well, with that, we understand the fact that there is a lot that's still developing in the terms of where the virus originated from. We understand that most nations, if not all nations, are vouching for vaccines to be delivered to them and for their people to receive vaccine drives as soon as they possibly can. But the world is still turning. There is still a lot developing in the South China Sea. There's still a lot developing in the United States, as a matter of fact. Trump has officially denied the option of giving his statement to the Senate prior to his impeachment hearings. And Amazon's Jeff Bezos has stepped down as CEO, leaving Mark Zuckerberg as the only active CEO that had grassroots origins with his company, except for Elon Musk, who, well, for all intents and purposes, might never step down. But that's great because ventures that Elon Musk is embarking upon are truly revolutionary for our species. With that being said, there's a lot to know, there's a lot that keeps changing on an everyday basis. 24 hours is a long time for the news cycle to refresh itself. But rest assured, we will keep you updated on all things the world has to offer. Until then, this has been your morning cup. I'll see you tomorrow.